You know that feeling? You're standing in front of a vending machine, trying to pick the perfect snack. It seems so simple, doesn't it? Just a glass box full of treats. But what if I told you that behind that glass, there's this hidden world of psychology, super advanced tech, and a global network that's, well, it's way more complex than you'd think. So, let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on.
So what's going through your head right then? Do you go for the sugary, instant reward, or do you listen to that little voice telling you to grab the healthier option? That single, split-second decision you make, that's the very beginning of our story. It's a dilemma we all face, and believe me, the science behind it has some pretty fascinating things to say.
All right, let's dive right into that micro moment, the snack dilemma. We're going to get into the hidden psychology behind your purchase. What is actually happening in your brain when you're staring at that wall of choices?
Okay, so researchers basically split these options into two camps. First, you've got vice products. These are the ones that are all about immediate pleasure, right? That delicious, indulgent treat. Then you have the virtue products. These appeal to our better selves, our long-term goals, like being healthy. And it's this constant battle, this tug-of-war between what you want right now and what you know is good for you later.
So, what actually tips the scales in this fight? Well, a huge study looked at over 13,000 real-world vending machine purchases, and they found that when it comes to picking those vice products, two things matter more than anything else: how familiar you are with it and its price. Yep, that snack you loved as a kid has a huge advantage, especially if it feels like a bargain.
But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just about what's in the machine, it's about where everything is placed. Every single slot, every row. It's all part of a very deliberate strategy. The layout itself is basically designed to nudge you, to influence your choice in some really subtle ways.
And to get why that works, we need to talk about this really cool psychological idea called construal level theory. Okay, so the core idea is pretty simple. Think about it like this. When something feels far away, our brains tend to think more abstractly, about the big picture and long-term goals. But when something feels close, our brains switch to concrete thinking. We're focused on the here and now, on immediate rewards. And what this means is that our physical space can literally be engineered to change how we think.
So, how does this apply to a vending machine? This is the wild part. The study actually found that when products are placed higher up or on the right side of the machine, it literally triggers that more abstract, long-term thinking part of your brain.
And here's the kicker. This means that if you put the healthier virtue snacks in those top and right-hand slots, you can actually increase the chances that people will buy them. It's amazing, right? Your brain is being gently guided toward making the healthier choice, all because of where a bag of pretzels is sitting.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the psychology of the choice, let's zoom out a bit and look at the machine itself. Welcome to the Smart Box. Because let me tell you, this is definitely not your parents' clunky old vending machine.
The vending machines of today are seriously high-tech. They're basically smart, connected computers. We're talking Internet of Things connectivity, cloud-based monitoring so someone knows instantly if it's empty, cashless and QR code payments. Oh, and they're collecting real-time data on every single thing you buy.
And you know what really kicked this whole evolution into high gear? The COVID-19 pandemic. All of a sudden, the need for safe, hygienic, totally contactless ways to buy stuff just exploded. And guess what? Smart vending machines were right there, the perfect solution waiting in the wings.
All right, so we started inside your head, then we zoomed out to the smart machine. Now we're going to zoom out one last time to something even bigger, the AI mastermind. This is the invisible, intelligent network that's pulling the strings behind thousands of these machines, making them work together like one giant system.
See, the vending industry was up against some serious problems. They were dealing with labor shortages, fuel costs were going through the roof, and honestly, the whole system was just inefficient. You had drivers kind of guessing their routes based on gut feelings. They desperately needed a smarter way to do things.
And that's exactly where companies like ISCOM over in Japan stepped in. They developed this incredible AI-powered system to completely overhaul their logistics, and the results they came back with, well, they were just jaw-dropping. 120%. Let that sink in for a second. That is the kind of productivity boost they're expecting from this new AI. That's not just an improvement, that's a complete game changer. It's the kind of number that just wipes all those problems we talked about right off the board.
So what does 120% productivity actually look like? Well, it looks like this. I know,
It might seem like just a super complicated spreadsheet, but what you're seeing is the AI's brain in action. It's generating the absolute perfect, most efficient schedule for every driver every single day. The guesswork is just gone.
So how on earth does it do it? Well, the AI is basically the ultimate manager. It's forecasting sales for every machine, it's optimizing all the delivery routes to save a ton on fuel, and it's even telling them the perfect mix of products for each specific location. And get this, it's so good at managing inventory that the amount of extra stock left on the trucks at the end of the day dropped from 50% all the way down to just 10%.
All right, for our last section, we're going to take one final, really cool leap. We've seen how this incredible technology has perfected the art of selling snacks. But what if you took that same tech and used it for something completely different? What if it could actually revolutionize how we buy fresh food? Believe it or not, all across Europe, a new movement is taking hold: farm vending. Farmers are using these exact same kinds of smart machines to sell their products directly to people 24/7. And we're not just talking chips and soda. We're talking fresh milk, eggs and sausages in Germany, warm baguettes in France, even fresh pasta and wine in Italy, right out of a machine. And what's so brilliant about this whole thing is that it's like taking that old-fashioned, charming idea of the farm's honesty box and turbocharging it with modern, secure, and super convenient tech. It's a total win-win. The farmers get to sell their stuff directly, and we get access to amazing, fresh, local food whenever we want.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. Why does this journey, from a simple snack choice all the way to a farm-fresh future, why does any of this actually matter?
Well, think about the path we just took. We started small, with the psychology of a single decision. Then we zoomed out to the smart machine itself. Then we zoomed out again to the massive AI network that runs the whole show. And finally, we ended up with this incredible new vision for what the future of retail could look like.
And that right there is the key takeaway. That humble vending machine, it's not just a box of snacks anymore. It's become this amazing crossroads where human psychology, powerful AI, and the entire future of food all come together.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. The next time you're standing there looking through that glass, what are you going to see? Will you just see a box of snacks, or will you see a window into a complex, intelligent, and rapidly changing future of how we all live and eat?